Hmm. Hello everyone, and welcome to Moosend's Valentine's Day webinar.
Hello guys, it's Virginia Thea and Moo back at it again with something quite lovely.
I bet you're wondering what suitors have to do with your customer retention, right? Well, you know those instances where you meet someone and everything's going great, and you're finally arranging a date, and you thought it went well, and then poof, they're gone. The same could happen to your online business. One day you've got a customer actually purchasing from your brand, and the next, can you say ghosted? Now you're going to ask, well, what does that all have to do with my online business? So let me share my screen a little quickly, and you will see exactly what I mean. We may not be authorities into curing a broken heart, but we can for sure tell you how your online business can turn from damsel in distress to like Beyonce should have put a ring on its status for your customers with a tweak here and a twist there. But you know what time it is now? It's definitions time. So, what is customer retention and why do you need it really? In layman's terms, customer retention is the act of having people think about your online brand through engagement and various types of encouragement, from discount codes to valuing them as individuals. The end goal is to have them keep coming back for more. This act will generate more value for you and your customers and will keep the love alive. According to Crazy Eggs estimates, it's a 60 to 70% more likely to sell to an existing customer, while a 50% will purchase new products and spend a 30% more on your brand. No, sorry, 31%, that's even better, which means a whole lot of revenue and sales targets reached. That is, if you know how to calculate customer retention and know exactly what you'll be looking for down the line. So, here is our tried and true Moosend formula on how to calculate your customer retention rate or CRR. So you need to know the number of customers you're looking at, the number of new customers at the same time period, and the number of customers overall. Now time for some math. Virginia?
So let's say that you want to measure the number of your Valentine's overall for 2020 to 2021. And I'll make the things easy for you. Let's assume that you've got 500 customers. That's your CS. And let's assume that you acquired 100 new customers. That's your CM. The customers who reached to the finish line on Valentine's 2021 and loved you more than those Fly-Bys who didn't deserve you were, let's say, 250. That's your CE. Just take out the unfaithful 100 from the faithful 250 and divide by the number of your general crowd at the beginning of your time period. In our case, the 500 CS. Then multiply by 100%. In our example, your CRR is 30%, which is not bad at all. I am sure that you're dying to know what a good industry standard is. And the answer to that is the higher, the better. There is no standard as there are many parameters to take into account. However, you need to see this number to be steady, or even better, growing. According to Statista, most industries like to see an 85% CRR. However, this number can differ from one industry to the next, with media loving the 84% and hospitality being happy with the 55%. Are you convinced yet? Look how much more expensive it is to gain new customers. That is to say that customer acquisition is not important, especially if you're new here. But it's not the end all be all, and it can be achieved through multiple channels that we're going to look into. So, customer retention is like going out on a date. You get familiar with a person, you go out, you discuss, and then you go like this. But you know, mean it. Unlike Sunny Video Bing, what would it take for your customer to go full Joanna and believe that phrase?
Well, it's all about being there for them when the rain starts to fall. Rather, the tactics you use to get users to prefer you over your competitors play a vital role. And much like a failed first date, the devil is well 100% in the details. So let's assume that you go on your date, you get all dressed up, you're feeling super fine, the date flows amazingly well, and you two click. And then what? Silence. Your messages get left unread, even worse undelivered. On the off chance that you manage to get a word or two out of the previously engaged suitor, the conversation goes a little like this. Meanwhile, your prospect is with their Leonard who is babbling about Howard's mother's brisket. This is a failed date. Big time failed. And the analogy points to ultra failed customer retention. How can you be a Leonard and not a Howard in that case? Well, let's see. Saving phase number one, create a loyalty program. Many marketers and business owners operate under the impression that loyalty programs are for established repeaters. That is not the case though. Even first timers need a little bit of encouragement and understanding, or rather, especially first timers need a little encouragement and understanding as they are the ones more likely to churn. Therefore, it would be a good idea to retain them as well as your already established repeaters. Now, a customer loyalty program is sure to give you the impression that you value customers, even prospective ones, and also that you're all up for reciprocating their love and trust by giving something back to them. The more they commit, the better the benefits for them. And the better the benefits, the better the chances at a fantastic aspect of marketing, which is word of mouth marketing. This can score you that much more engagement and, in the end, sales and revenue. According to the White House Office of Consumer Affairs, on average, loyal customers are worth up to 10 times as much as their first purchase. And according to Loyalty Alliance research, the average order value of loyalty program members was 20 to 30% higher than guest checkouts during COVID's first outbreak. Do you need more proof? I could go on and on with the statistics, I really could, but I think you're convinced. And I'm sure you know that 20 to 30% more AOV is something to write home about. But how are you going to woo your customers enough to make them register for your loyalty program and tell their friends and family about it? Well, the answer is one and it's simple. Incentives. Incentivizing the offer is something more than most customers love to see. On one hand, it shows that you care enough to give back. On the other hand, it's a huge win for them. But is your loyalty program going to hit the right spot? This statistic is indicative of how your loyalty program should be based on research and be tailor-made to fit your audience. A millennial loves discounts, sure, but will a Gen Zer love them just the same? Offer a 1+1 deal, a discount on the second purchase, perhaps eliminate shipping costs for a specific order value. But to lure them just the right amount, you need to be a little aloof. And this is where a landing page will do the dirty work for you.
So let me share my screen and we'll see what we made. Fantastic. So let's click on Growth Tools, Landing Pages, and Create New. So starting off with the basics, you enter your page name here. It should be something quick and easy for you. No user can say this. Next, you have to go for your landing page title. This is where you need to woo them a little bit. Remember that your audience can see this and they should be able to understand what you're up to straight up. Now it's time for your meta description. Before creating this, check out your keywords. It will be your SCRP saving grace, since your keyword targeting will bring those who forgot about you back in. And let's click the design button now. You can see here that we've got a quite extensive landing page template library, but you're always free to create your own from scratch. I just picked this template over here. Keep in mind that the users should land on it from your website or email marketing campaigns, not ads that look like you're actually trying to sell. Moving on now with the design. Make sure to use your design wisely and highlight the benefits and special somethings of your offer. For example, as you can see, we're using the countdown timer here to entice and create urgency. You can use various elements, such as the video element, This will keep your users busy and intrigued and result in more time spent on your page. So let's drag it and drop it here. You can pick out on the button here, you can pick any video service link that you like. It could be YouTube, Vimeo, anything that works. I've picked out this one here, and we click upload. Now, the autoplay aspect is up to you. Just pick out the button that feels right, and you click preview. See how easy that was? Let's go back to edit mode and click the Elements tab again. Notice the social buttons to the side. I'll explain later, but it will work wonders for you. Okay, let's see how we did. Just give me one moment for the load. Perfect. Remember to use your design wisely. Answer all user questions through it and then some. So why should the user land on this page anyway? Now it's time to share our landing page on our social media pages. You can add a headline, description, and preview your post on the side, and you're good to go. Can you promote a link to your landing page? More importantly, can your users do it too? Make sure to use all channels, and your users are a fantastic channel. Moving on with the next step. Here is where you track your conversion, and you can use Google Analytics or Facebook Pixel. Never forget to notify users of cookies. Not just because of laws and legislations, it's bad form not to. Your users should know the hows and whys and know they can put their faith in you. Otherwise, your brand may end up looking like a little bit of a creeper with all the personalization that hasn't been done in good faith down the line. Let's choose our publishing method now. You can publish either on your own platform or an external platform. That's totally your call. Can you see the Publish to Workplace option here? This is a good time to tell you that you can use Moosend's wide variety of integrations if you don't want to spend time and energy on new tools. We definitely have an integration of your favorite app. Also, be mindful of the link above. It's customizable and you want to create something memorable and easy to share around. Okay, moving on. And here's what the final look will be like. You can always go back and forth with your page and make sure you've nailed every detail. Now, let's click Publish. Let me point something out here. Always optimize for mobile and use interaction. The more time the user spends on the landing page, the more valuable search engine will deem it is. As you can see, here you can track your visitor, views, conversion at a glance. Then, if you're ready for some more action, click on the button to the side and duplicate, delete, or simply preview your page. It's only optional. So back to you, Tel.
Well, that Valentine's Day landing page right there is dreamy and it's super fun. And no customer will have to convince their friend that it looks better on desktop. But is it enough? It could provide a memorable experience, sure, but not interacting with customers through every stage of the funnel could prove to be fatal for your customer retention strategy. The point here is, well, to be there. And what better way to be there than an online survey after they've interacted with your brand? Of course, you'll never be able to resolve each and every customer's issue, as some are expected and some are so complicated nobody could have seen them coming. However, a customer survey will give you some much needed insight into what problems may arise, where your brand is lacking, and what you need to fix. Of course, you need some positive reinforcement as well. You can't use negative language in your brand and expect your customers to interact with you for a second time. Your survey questions are there to address any issues that need to be addressed and to ask for some positive feedback. So get into it and you'll see you'll manage to understand the behavioral patterns of your users before they opt out and make all necessary changes. The plethora of data your users are willing to share with you on a survey will help you understand what could go wrong, what you did right, and how you'll retain your customers in the future. That way, you will not have to be overbearing or ask for feedback through every single purchase, as you'll understand how you and your customers can work together.
But let's talk about another type of feedback, the NPS surveys. They typically look like this. Your NPS score calculates the likelihood of customers suggesting your establishment to a friend, and they work wonders for your name. It can range from 10 to 0, and it's what will make or break your fame. 9 and 10s show you promoters. 8s and 7s are passives. They are the ones who like to play the field a little more. And your 6s to your 0s are detractors. Ideally, what you want is to have promoters all the way, but that's not entirely possible. The formula through which you can calculate the love you're given is this. You need to know the percentage of your promoters, i.e. your 9s and 10s, and subtract the percentage of detractors. That way, you know how likely it is for your engaged customers to be a kind of brand ambassador and boost your word of mouth fame. It can range anywhere from minus 100 to 100, and ideally, you need it to be higher than 0. There are plenty of factors that go into ensuring your NPS score is what you want it to be, other than great customer service or a great product. The main point is to send out the surveys at the right place and time, aka to the users that have interacted with you and your product, rather than those who only signed up for your newsletter. Not doing so will result in getting a full NPS score that won't reflect the true nature of your audience feelings for your product.
But let's get it going with another retention strategy that will not disappoint. It's stellar customer service. Your support team or your customer service team is one of the first points of real contact between you and your customers. Not to mention how your customers will flake if you fail to deliver what they need you to. And let me show you what I mean. Great customer service builds customer loyalty, and it's crucial to customer experience, even more so than the perfect website or an original out-of-the-box social media strategy. Not to mention that it boosts reciprocity and helps with customer onboarding as well. A customer will always value an experience for what it is, and more than most cannot wait to share a good experience online, like this. Shout out to our support superhero John for his extraordinary work and our head of support Nicholas for guiding him to the right direction. And like a bad date, bad customer service news gets extremely fast, and brand awareness can make or break your name.
It's all about human-to-human interaction after all. And while retention is important, new customers are just as important. You need more to have better chances at winning them and higher conversion rates at the end of the day. And you cannot afford your competitors to be like Mario on a date with Princess Peach, while you're Sheldon, abandoned on a staircase, enabling them to use what could have been your leads. The solution to that? Customer onboarding. A well thought out onboarding process is what will give your prospect a chance at being customers and your Fly-Bys the chance at being enamored with your product and your brand as a whole. But what do I mean by that? I am not Chanel Fly-By, but I'm not a frequent buyer either. The way the brand interacts, though, is amazing. And the tone of this brand is part of the legacy of Gabrielle herself. If there was so much as a tweak in the wrong direction, I wouldn't have been a customer. And this is what you need to achieve. But how is this possible without the right amount of subscribers? The answer? It's not. And this is where subscription forms come to save the day. In our Black Friday webinar, we talked about the various types of subscription forms and what they entail, but we kept some secrets. Let's see how you can create a subscription form on Moosend's platform and spread the love to the more people that you thought possible. So let me share my screen again. Great. So you click on the plus button and new subscription form. For this one, we'll pick the pop-up style. Let's pick out the name that would be easier for you and your team to remember. It could be the project name, or it could be something completely random. No user can say this. Now let's get creative. Remember, a subscription form can boost onboarding down the line, and short and sweet subscription forms entice users without overwhelming them. Now let's pick a template. Okay, you can play along with various settings and elements. In this form, I decided to use a GIF. Because, look at those monkeys. They're fantastic and cute, and prospects will definitely love them. If you're happy with your design, you can just preview on different devices and then click Proceed. As we wait, let me tell you why you need subscription forms. It's not just the fact that they generate leads. The real deal with subscription forms is that these leads combined with proper email onboarding sequence are all about interactions and data. More subscribers doesn't mean more revenue, but more interested subscribers who willingly give you data means better understanding and in the end, a lovely CRR. Now let's see our visibility settings. For this example, and in our case, I will show you how to set the form for when someone leaves the page, also known as exit intent. This type of form is especially valuable when you want to retain someone. They have already interacted with your content, had their fun with it, and are about to leave. Your form is there to pull them back in. Now, moving on with our next step. Let's choose our publishing method. Over here, you can decide where your form will be published, a website or external platform. That's totally up to you. And if we click Next, we can have the final look. When you're happy, click Publish, and you're all done. It's pretty quick, easy, and straightforward, and it can truly bring new leads in. An interested crowd, and coupled with a little bit of extra love in the form of a 1+1 deal, it can be perfect for word of mouth marketing as well. Isn't it right there?
Of course it is, but let's see where we are right now. Assuming that your list has interested leads in it, that they are enticed enough to be in the mood for love, and that you're the brand they love to see. Now it's time to begin the talking stage that will get you to the first date. In other words, it's time to create the email campaigns that will shape your onboarding process and get the customer through with their first purchase and onto their second one. So first of all, we've got our confirmation email. Now, double opt-in may seem counterintuitive for your business, and that's true. Even though I love it, sometimes, just sometimes, it won't work for you. A confirmation email, though, will. Send one to your users, first to determine whether they've been truthful with their contact details or whether they'd like to further interact with you. Send a second one to your non-openers, but if they don't interact with that either, this is where you should forget this email address and move on. Those who like you won't forget you after an email and a follow-up. Those who don't, well, if they wanted to, they would. Now on to our welcome email. You got your interested prospects in your list. your definitely interested prospects, that is. This could go great or it could go really, really wrong. What do I mean by that? A welcome email is the place to showcase your brand and guide your users a little bit further down the funnel. And while it's expected by your new subscribers, in fact, let me show you. According to Experience Report, a welcome email has a 57.8% open rate and a 14.4% click-through rate. This is not the place to sell. This is your first text, your first personal interaction through your email inbox. Make sure it's not creepy sales, but it's full of personality that creates a strong impression and shows users what to expect from you. Moving on, we got our classic newsletter. This is the place where the magic happens. Your newsletter is where you promote without promoting by showcasing your blog, the news that have to do with your brand, or the various uses of your product. Don't rush into telling the users about an offer just yet. Remember, you want to woo them, not shoo them. Newsletters can be as frequent or as many as your audience allows. That is your call, and this is where expert segmentation and personalization come into play. You can decide on the frequency of your emails, especially when you're trying to lead users down the funnel without appealing to what feels natural to them. So, if sending 2 newsletters seems to convert better, just do it. Then we've got the email with your offer, and this is where the games begin. This is where you track, create triggered email campaigns based on what your user has viewed on your website, what products they left in their cart, if any, or what section of your website gained more clicks. Then we've got your reminder email. Is it cart abandonment? Is it something they checked out? Is it a perishable product that needs to be replenished? Perhaps a subscription that is about to end? Whatever the case, a reminder email is something that stems from user behavior, and it's the perfect opportunity to gently remind your Fly-Bys that your brand is still here, still going, and that you'd love it if you heard from them. And then we've got your special something email. Is it a birthday? Is it the anniversary of 1 month after the user's first purchase? An actual anniversary, perhaps, or a holiday that is big on their side of the globe? Whatever the case may be, an email with an offer or perhaps a little gesture like a free gift will engage your users and boost their loyalty and their AOV. Emails that stem from an actual user interaction and lead to an outcome that could have only been organic and natural are what you should be aiming for. And if you're wondering why, well, mainly because it's sort of like paying attention to what the other person was saying through text and incorporating this into your day. It works, it shows you care, and it's a great way to get the convo flowing. Creating an email with an offer that will not resonate with the recipient will result in, well, this. And you don't want it. So let's see, what do we have here? A you're in, a welcome, a here's my brand, a here's my offer, a hey, I'm here if you want to talk, and a here's what I designed and curated just for you. But is that all?
Well, this is a great onboarding sequence, but again, this is just theory. Your audience will need something more tangible, something they can see and read and experience, which is why you need to create the perfect Valentine's Day email for your audience. Let me share my screen and show you. So click here on the plus button, new campaign, and then pick out the regular type and set the basic settings. Your campaign name could again be anything memorable to you, as no user can see this. For the subject line, remember that you can test it with our free subject line tester if you're not sure whether it's going to get as much adoration as you want. However, A/B testing is the more surefire way to determine that. Moving on, you set your from and reply to addresses and send a confirmation email. As you can see on the next step here, you can also track the analytics of your campaign. At this stage, I want to point out that picking out the right audience and location for your campaign is a make or break decision. Valentine's Day is global, Sure, but is the location right for your content? Is Valentine's big where your audience is? If you said no, perhaps it makes no sense for your brand to retain customers using Valentine's Day. We choose our email list here and move forward with the design. Great. Picking out the right design is a step towards creating targeted deals that will correspond with your audience and speak to them on a one-on-one basis. You need something fun and creative. Our template library is quite extensive, and there is a special category for Valentine's. So let's find it here and pick that template here. It's all set up with a gift no less. This beating heart is just too cute. But let me show you what I promised before. Now, there's an element here that I'm really excited to show you. You might have noticed that there's a social share button and a social follow button. And I bet you wonder what the differences between them are. Let me show you. Your social share button can help users share your content through their inbox and their social cycle, giving you extra points on word of mouth while giving them an opportunity to become brand ambassadors. Don't forget to couple that with a beautiful incentive, like a voucher or a special deal for more engagement, and actually interested deals along the way. Look to the side, and you can see where the link to your content will be. On the other hand, your social follow button is what will link to your social media accounts. You need those two for two reasons. Firstly, your customer will be able to see all the details of your brand and your online presence. And secondly, you build credibility and make it easier for your customers to go ahead and follow you straight up instead of looking you up online. And being ultra reachable is one way to entice. This template right here always has the social follow button. And all you need is your links and you're good to go. The other way is to ensure that your email looks great on all devices. So you can check these buttons up there. If you're happy with it, you can move on to the next step. Scheduling your delivery. You can either decide if you want to send this campaign now or at a specific time. Also, resending the whole campaign to non-openers is an option. You can also send a test email and then your campaign is ready to convert. Here, you can preview everything or just go back and save the things that you don't like and click it send. Here you can track everything from A/B testing winners, if your campaign was an A/B testing one, to the status of your campaign and more. Closing off this section, I'd like to point out two things that will make your Valentine's customer retention easier and sweeter. The first one would be Moosend's weather-based automation. It's a fantastic way to suggest just the right thing at the right time and to the right person at the right location. Kind of like finding out your date's favorite restaurant and going there for a date. It shows you actually listened when we were talking. So you get extra love points for that. And lastly, something that marketers tend to forget. Valentine's is not a holiday. Make sure you nail those send times by tracking your data, taking out your open rates and A/B testing to understand your audience behavioral patterns and preferences.
Shareable content boosts brand tone. Brand tone is what is memorable, and the most cost-effective way to promote your content and your brand while cultivating a connection and a more personal relationship with your customers is email marketing, hands down. Now, email marketing campaigns, especially when they're personalized and curated to match the recipient's wants and needs, educate, promote, and showcase your value exactly how your users want to see it. Not to mention that tailored marketing campaigns boost authority and make your brand seem like the only one talking in a room full of opportunities. Users will feel familiar, like talking to someone who really cares about them, which is what customer retention is all about. And this Valentine's Day, do not be afraid to create content for Valentine's Day. Be bold, be a little flirty if your brand tones allows it, and share and spread the love. Like my absolute favorite Frank Body, he's always flirty, but this Valentine's email newsletter is just something that can amaze the recipient and a friend and get the word of mouth going. But I've got a question for you guys here. Would you be as bold as Frank in your email marketing campaigns? And if so, what tactics would you use? Is there something else you have in mind? Tell us in the comments, would love to hear it.
Reaching the end for today, we couldn't leave you hanging without some final tips and tweaks to ensure your Valentine's Day retention is extra successful this year. And much like in real life, you can never know what someone loves or hates to love. You wouldn't go to a restaurant your date hates, and you wouldn't send a campaign that doesn't make sense. That's what A/B testing is for in email marketing. So look into your data, incorporate last year's performance into your plan, and create an A/B testing campaign that will make sense for you and your customers.
And if you don't have sufficient data, fret not. Segment according to buyer persona and look into the marketing actions of your competitors. Find out what they do and do it better. And never forget to be authentic and on brand. If your brand and Valentine's Day just don't mix, you don't feel obligated to incorporate that holiday into your marketing calendar. That would only make things more awkward and it wouldn't resonate with your target audience at all. Now, let's see if we've got any questions real quick. Okay, I hope everything's been understood. So about the social share buttons that I can see here, Vasily says that he's never seen someone using them. Some people do, some people don't. That goes, it's a part of your demographics. And if your audience allows it, then in my opinion, you should definitely use them.
So if there are no more questions now, that's it for today, folks, and it's been a blast.
See you guys sooner than you think. If you want, you can drop us a line, or if you have any extra questions, go to virginia@moosend.com or ted@moosend.com.
Until
Next time.